responsibility coming from universities, from professors, teachers, and students is really to be committed, to come to the critical understanding and then to be around to spread around the thoughts and to be a counterpower to emotional politics, to populism, to instrumentalizing fears of the people. We really need to resist this because it's really problematic. And you are in a situation where your government in some policies was very quick to follow what the Bush administration was doing. And what I heard in Canada is that no, we are not the United States of America. You are not, but sometimes you are following too quickly or imitating too easily. So I would say this is why we need to be critical and to come to a deep understanding. The discussion this evening is about jihad in the West and in Asian integration and identity. So let me go through this because I want to take every single word to try to share with you some approaches and views on this. I think that just a short introduction, 3 main points, and then I will come to every single word and try to understand what we have to do and in which way we are talking about ourselves. And when I'm saying we, it's everyone here. It's the new Canada, it's the new reality. Is a Canada where the people are coming again. It's not so new. But the visibility of the Muslim presence makes it new. Is we with different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions. Call it as you want, because we have a problem with terminology and ideology. If you speak about multiculturalism, it's perceived by some French people, oh, the multiculturalism is all about ghettos and segregation, and it's not the right way. We need to go for something which is more individualistic. So it's the secularity, it's la laïcité, and there's discussion even in Canada between Quebec and the English-speaking areas. These are discussions. So my point is a neutral normative term. We live in pluralistic society. Willing it or not, call it whatever you want, however you want, but this is a fact. We live in pluralistic society with many cultures, many religions, no religions, and so many different memories and that. It's pluralism is what we have to deal with. Now, how are we going to deal with this? And in which way we have to promote that and to make it an asset, to make it a positive dimension, a richness for every one of us. This is our common hope. So, equal citizens, equal citizenship, fellow citizens sharing hopes for the future of their country, and this is your country. This is your country, meaning you need to get the sense of belonging to this country and to promote the best. Introduction, 3 main points, and it starts with jihad. Because the way it was put in the title is quite interesting, jihad in the West. Which kind of jihad are we talking about? And this is a concept, and I will come to this because there is something which is quite important in our translations, is that very often the Muslims, when they have to deal with concepts, either they just following what is the common translations that we have in the West done by or proposed by Orientalists, or they come to the literalist, meaning the direct, straight translation. And jihad means literally jahada, making an effort, to make an effort. It means about effort, it means about to strive to do something in one way or another. In fact, to understand this concept of jihad, and it's very often the case in Islam, you have to come to the spiritual dimension. And here there is something which is universal. And why it's important? Because from this understanding, you will see how the same concept could be perceived in a very negative way by our fellow citizens and a very positive way within the realm of Islam and among Muslims. In fact, the spiritual dimension of jihad is exactly this one. If every single woman and every single man in this room is looking at herself or himself, trying to understand who you are, yourself, your being. Every one of us knows that within my heart and within her or his heart, there are dark sides and enlightened sides, dimensions. You may be violent, you may be greedy, you may be selfish, you may be aggressive, and sometimes you lie. Is there someone in this room who never lied? Thank you. We all know that it means that the dark side of our being. And what is darker even is that we learn and we know that we are able to lie to the people we love the most. To your mother, to your father, you did it. I know that. I did it myself. This is the reality of our being, the dark side. But every one of us, at the same time, we are attracted by transparency, generosity, truth, giving. We like it. We like that. And we feel good when we are like this. We lie and we feel bad, and sometimes we feel good. And we say the truth. We give, we share, and we feel good. These are the two dimensions. And this is universal, it's not Islamic. It is in the Jewish tradition, in the Christian tradition, in the Muslim tradition, in the Buddhist tradition, in atheism, among the agnostics. This is something which is universal. Is as universal as we are all human beings. Jihad means what? Exactly this. In which way? You should use the positive side of your being. Generosity, giving, loving, transparency, loving truth, to master the dark side of your being. This is jihad. So you are all, without knowing it, experiencing the very meaning of jihad. Even if you are not a Muslim. Jihad means this effort to use the good in order to reform the bad. In myself. I start here with my heart. And I know I'm like this. So this is why I become a human being through education. I have to educate myself. Because if I live it, if I'm not born generous. You are not born democratic. You have democrat, you have to learn. It's a process. To listen. When you were a child, the first thing that you are doing with your own child is, this is mine. This is normal, this is natural. And then you learn to give the good dimension to take over the bad. So when you come to translate jihad, to say its effort is not enough, it's two things. First is resistance to what is bad. To resist. I'm resisting because it's there. It could colonize me. I could be under colonization of the dark side of my being. And then it's not only to resist, because this would be on the defensive, it's to reform. It's to change it for the better. It's a two-way process. Resisting and reforming at the same time. This is the very meaning of jihad. And when you come to the spiritual dimension, you understand that in your daily life you are going to do the same. In your family. Resisting silence and promoting communication. It's a jihad. Resisting, dogmatic attitude, not father and mother not talking to the kids or not sharing but imposing. It's resisting this and to promote more dialogue. In your society, you deal with poverty. Resisting poverty and reforming the society for more justice. It's a jihad. So you come from the spiritual dimension to the collective dimension with exactly the same understanding, resisting and reforming. So to say jihad means effort, this is the literal meaning, but it's not the spiritual dimension, it's not the religious dimension that should be understood. So when you are in the West, it's very important, as when you are in Muslim majority country, to understand very deeply to what you have to resist and in which way you can reform. But to know